Welcome to Shadow of Truth, and today is Monday, May the 1st, 2017. And your hosts are Dave Kranzler from InvestmentResearchDynamics.com and Rory Hall from thedailycoin.org. What's going on, Dave?
I'm looking for a riot to find to go join in and celebrate May Day like they are over in Paris.
Might as well. Yeah,
Happy
forget
May
all
Day.
the maypole and all that stuff. Just have a riot.
Right.
No sense in celebrating fertility and, good things happening. Blow something up. Yes, happy May Day. So, well, let's jump in and talk about some gold.
I'm ready when you are.
Let's do it.
I mean, how an ETF for I don't understand that. Well, an ETF for cryptocurrencies. I mean, what do you do? The ETF holds a basket of cryptocurrencies?
Yes.
That's stupid. Well, for what purpose?
Well, you'd have to ask somebody smarter than me about that because I don't know. I mean, I look at it as it's as stupid as Facebook being a stock or any of this other nonsense, Snapchat or any of this other garbage that they've.
Those are legitimate businesses to a degree.
To a degree,
advertising. They're advertising mediums.
Well,
they generate revenues, but a cryptocurrency doesn't. It's not a business. It's a currency.
Right. Well,
I mean, there's not an ETF that tracks the dollar. I mean, I guess there's a dollar index ETF, but
it's called the Forex, isn't it? I mean, but there's not a basket in that. There's not a basket.
Well, I don't know if there's a dollar index ETF now that I think about it. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. Is there a source document for what they're trying to develop?
Say that again.
Do you have a source document for this crypto gold thing?
Yeah, it's a Reuters article.
Right, but is there something on the CME website that explains what they're doing?
No, there's not to my knowledge. And I think that because it's still in the testing phase and they're supposed to be rolling it out.
Is it called crypto gold?
No.
What's it called?
Alpha Point and BitGo are the two companies that are developing it. And they're developing, this is the interesting part, Dave, is that they're developing it in conjunction with the Royal Mint. Not the U.S. Mint, but the Royal Mint out of London. And this is really what I wanted to bring to people's attention because what we just learned from John Titus and
go ahead.
Well, what we just learned from all the plenary's men is that this is how these criminal dirtbags do get away with these high crimes and enslave us, is that they have these cross-border agreements, just like this one. CME is based in Chicago, but they're cutting a deal with the Royal Mint out of London in order to create this crypto gold. And the Royal Mint is going to supply the gold, and the CME group is going to provide the technology and the platform in order to bring this together. And it just reeks of a criminal, a brand new nefarious activity for these scumbags, like I said, to further manipulate the markets, to further manipulate the citizens and steal everything that's not nailed down. That's what it looks like.
Here's the thing, Rory. I've just read the article.
Yeah,
I actually don't have a problem with this because it's basically it's essentially something that's gonna compete to an extent. It'll somewhat compete with gold money, and they're just going to use the blockchain. I mean, here's the thing, and the fact that they're doing it with the Royal Mint. If they're doing it with the Bank of England, that'd be different. But they're doing it with the Royal Mint, so to me, that means that what they're doing is they're letting you buy gold coins that the Royal Mint produces without having to take delivery of the coins. To me, it's just another. What it is they're fractionalizing coin sales with this thing. Like you buy a futures contract,
Right.
and um, supposedly the seller of the contract to you is representing that if you want delivery of the gold bar underlying the contract, that seller will be able to get that gold bar to you. And what the COMEX does, the short interest on the COMEX is banking on the fact that, any given delivery period, less than 1% of the longs actually stand for delivery. So on that basis, they can leverage up the amount of contracts they sell at essentially 99 to 1. So they can sell 99 bars of gold for every one that's actually sitting in the vault. And that's the extreme example, because it's not, the ratio of paper to gold isn't that high, but they could take it that high. And they also I guess the other reason they couldn't quite take it that high is they gotta let, at some point more people are going to start standing for delivery, and they got to be cognizant of that. So they can't take it that high. But what this is it's the Royal Mint saying, hey, this is a way for us to sell more gold coins than we actually have to make. Because they're issuing whatever this RMG thing stands for. It's basically a coin that is you purchase through this system, and it represents gold coins at the Royal Mint.
Right.
So
once again, like I said, nefarious activity is what it represents to me.
Well, but to me, this is not a large. It's not a large scale thing, though. I think they're just. I mean, it could be a way for them to save on the amount of gold that they need to buy in order to make into coins, because they could. This is they're just throwing out the blockchain there because they're saying that there's a higher level of traceability and audit that comes with blockchain technology, because participants are provided with permanent, immutable record of ownership and chain of ownership and custody. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the coins are actually sitting in the vault at the Royal Mint. You got to go and look at them, Right. And so, I mean, again, it gets down. This is just adding another layer it's just a way to add a layer between the buyers of gold coins and the issuers of gold coins, so that you buy one of these things and you buy one of these RMG units and you feel confident, hey man, this is the blockchain. So that, this
I have gold,
like verifies my ownership that I have X number of coins sitting in the Royal Mint. Well, if you never take delivery of them, the Royal Mint never has to deliver them. So why do they even have to produce them?
Right.
That's the thing here. I mean, I don't know. To me, this is sort of the retail version. It's a small scale version of what's happening on the COMEX and the LBMA.
Yeah, and
it's just it's an extension of it. I mean, people who buy coins, they want them delivered. So I don't even know why you'd use this system. You want to buy coins from the Royal Mint or the U.S. Mint. I don't know how many people don't get them delivered, except for the idiots who put them in their IRA.
Well, maybe it's not for the typical retail buyer.
Maybe but that's who buys these coins.
I understand. But you would think that on the COMEX that you would have people that are buying and selling gold and silver bars, 100-ounce bars of gold and 1,000-ounce bars of silver, but they're not. They're just trading paper, and that's all that this is. It looks like to me. So,
well, the COMEX is nothing but it's a hedge fund speculation playground, and I bet you 90% of the volume. And again, I'm just throwing that number out there. It's not scientific, but I bet you 90% of the volume is conducted between hedge funds and the COMEX banks. Maybe even higher. It may even be higher.
Yeah, so, I would agree.
And the hedge funds aren't doing it to buy gold. They're doing it to speculate on the direction of gold. and that's what the operators of the COMEX are counting on.
Right, but that's not the purpose nor the intent that the COMEX or these futures contracts were ever built upon. Never,
Actually, that's
ever.
not true. They introduced gold contracts in 1974 for the specific purpose of manipulating the market, and there's been documents that have been dredged up that show that. Gold contracts didn't exist until 1974,
Right.
not coincidentally after Nixon closed the gold window. And they specifically rolled those out because they knew that at some point they were going to need to manipulate the market in a big way. And that's why these things were developed. I mean, silver contracts were trading for quite a bit longer than gold because silver is also an industrial commodity. So people needed, end users needed hedging vehicles. But gold was specifically developed to manipulate the market. There's no reason to trade gold futures. I mean, it's a wealth preservation asset, and it's the ultimate currency. There's no reason to trade. There's no reason to speculate on the directional movement of it. And so, I don't think they foresaw. Well, maybe they did foresee the evolution of hedge funds because there were some hedge funds operating back then. But I bet you 95% of the volume on the COMEX is between hedge funds and the banks, and of that, I bet you 98%, 99% of those hedge funds never take delivery. The guys who take delivery on the COMEX are jewelers and sort of small scale investors. I mean, we've taken delivery into our fund of bars, and it's a pain in the butt. They make it like pulling teeth without Novocaine to get delivery of your metal off the COMEX. I'm serious.
Yeah,
So for me,
you
this is
described
just
it.
sort of for me, this product is just a small scale way. It's a marketing thing. Look, we're using blockchain technology. That's Bitcoin's holy grail. Blockchain technology. This thing is impenetrable. It's incorruptible. Well, it's based on a computer, and computers are corruptible, or you
Yes,
just unplug them. I think this
exactly.
is a way for the Royal Mint because gold. Apparently, there's a big physical gold problem in London, and the
Yes.
Royal Mint's competing with China for product, so they can produce gold coins that they have to ship out as soon as they're bought. Right now, this
Well,
is a way for the Royal Mint to say, "Look, you don't need to ship it out. We'll hold the coin for you. Just buy one of these stupid blockchain coins."
well, not only are they shipping it out to China, they're shipping it out to India and Russia
Right.
in bucket loads because China, through the SGE, the Shanghai Gold Exchange, in the first quarter of this year, moved 555.25 tons of gold. Annualized, it would be 2,221 tons. If that holds, it would be the second largest flow of gold through the Shanghai Gold Exchange ever, second only to 2015. And Russia is on pace for about 20. They have taken in the first quarter just a little bit over 22 tons per month in January, February, and March of this year. That's a lot of gold. And then India, they've blown up as well.
Yeah, the currency removal backfired on the Indian government. I knew
Yes,
it
it
would.
did. It has been
Every every
massive.
every attempt they've made to separate Indians from their physical gold has backfired, and so there was no reason why this one wouldn't backfire.
Right. Yeah, they just need to come to terms with that and figure out a
No, they
way
never
to.
will.
Well,
They never will. At some point, they're going to implement totalitarian measures,
yeah,
unless somehow India breaks away from the West.
which it could.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
I mean, can't see what India has done in the first quarter from this article that Bullion Star produced because they've got it intermingled with what China's movement is, but they don't. They break out China's, but they don't break out India's.
I have India's number somewhere. India's up a lot because they were
Yes,
they were depressed they were depressed for the first quarter last year, and there has been a big bounce back effect from the currency thing. The numbers are, it's huge. The year over year increase and the month to month increase over in India is huge.
I would agree with that. I mean, they're definitely moving some gold through there, and like you said, much to the chagrin of the government and their whole currency manipulation that didn't work. Nothing they try is working at all, and that's what they deserve.
Right.
I hope
So
they get more of it.
just to kind of circle back on this Royal Mint CME thing, I mean, you got to. What I'm asking myself is, well, why are they developing? Why is the U.S. based company developing this with the Royal Mint? Why aren't they developing it with the U.S. Mint? And
Right.
I would argue that the likely thing is there's a greater need for it by the Royal Mint, because I think, the European retail market for gold coins is much more vibrant than the U.S. retail market. So I would argue that the Royal Mint needs this product, because then they don't need as much gold to produce enough coins for the demand if they can get people to use this product. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because you buy one of these coins, one of these crypto or one of these blockchain coins, and it represents gold coins sitting in the Royal Mint's vault. You don't actually take delivery of them. You're just supposed to feel confident that the blockchain technology has verified that you're the rightful owner. Well, until you take physical delivery of it, you're still not the rightful owner. That's the whole point of counterparty risk that seems to be lost on most people.
Well, I'm not sure about that, because I think that probably the way that it'll be used will be a way for people to put, $20 or $50 into this system. And then once they have accumulated enough to say, yeah, I would like to get a half-ounce gold coin or a quarter-ounce gold coin, that they're going to start pulling those out. I mean, that's the way I would use it.
Well, that's the way you would use it, but I bet you most people are like, I don't want to bother. Why not just keep it there? It's safer rather than under my bed. I mean, that's why people use custodians. So, to me, this is I think this is to help out the Royal Mint, in terms of their need for physical gold, or the requirement for physical gold. But to me, this is small scale compared to what's going on with the COMEX and the LBMA in terms of the institutional trading of paper, gold, and silver.
Yeah, but
this is an extension. This is an extension of it,
and it ties up everything. So now
right.
they've got all of the large scale gold and silver tied up. Now they can tie up the retail.
I don't think they have it tied up. I think they're running into problems here, because I think they were counting on India's gold demand being muted or stifled, and I don't think they were counting on China to continue increasing its importation of gold. To compound the problem, in the first quarter, Chinese mine gold production was down almost 10%.
Yep.
So that means that in order for China to fulfill its need, it has to import even more.
Yep. Which is probably what we're seeing on the Shanghai Gold Exchange.
That's correct. So, and I saw the numbers for Swiss refinery shipments of gold to India and China, and there was one other country in there for the first quarter, and it was up huge. And I don't have those numbers convenient with me, but when I do the write-up, I'll try and find them.
The monthly total Swiss gold imports was 153.5 tons, and their exports was 140.7 tons. 55.6 of those tons went to India, 24 tons went to China, and 24 tons went to Hong Kong. Another 6 tons went to Singapore. So, I mean, it's incredible the amount of gold going through these different locations. I mean, it comes back to the same question I've been asking for years. Where is it coming from? I guess those gold mines in London are producing a lot. Well, I guess that's as good a place as any to end it, Dave.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Well, we'll pick it up on Friday this week and see where we stand.
Friday, I guess we're going to start on a new day, huh?
Might as well shake it up a little.
Shaken, not stirred.
That's it. All right, dude. Well, have a good week, and I'll talk to you on Friday.
Sounds good.